Light Lab, when you get to this portion, you'll see that there's a website link for you to go to. When you click on that link, you're going to see a screen. You'll see a screen that looks like this that says Bending Light, and you're going to want to choose More Tools. So now that you're in here, it's going to ask you a few questions. Let's take a look at some of the things that it's going to ask you. It asks you about this particular picture. So let's take a look about this picture. So if you did the Ed puzzle, then you've had a lesson on light, reflection, and refraction. So here you can see the incident ray as it comes in, and then you have a reflected ray as it comes out. Now, the angle of incidence or incoming angle is the angle made with respect to the normal line, which is this perpendicular line. This is the angle of incidence. The angle on the other side between the reflected ray and the normal is the angle of reflection. Now, light also bends. It bends at the barrier between two different media, such as air and such as water. And so here you can see the bending of the light as it passes through. As it passes from a less dense substance to a more dense substance, you're not able to move as fast. And therefore, because you're not moving as fast, you're not going to be able to go as far. The distance between the waves is less, and the angle of refraction is less. So the more dense a substance is, the lower that angle is going to be. So here it's asking you to identify A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And hopefully now that you've seen this video, you can do that. Now, if you go back to the simulation, it wants you to answer these questions, and then you're going to go back to the simulation, and let's take a look at that simulation again real quick. So we're going to press the button here, and we're going to take the speed, and we're going to put it here, and we're going to put it here. Now, in this lab, you need to pay careful attention to what material it's asking for. If it's asking for water, make sure this material here down in the bottom is for water. If it says for glass, make sure it says glass. And if it says air, look at what happens with air. So with air, you'll notice that it passes straight through. The speed before and after are the same because there's nothing to slow it down. Now with water, which is more dense than air, what you notice is the speed in air here, and then you can see the speed in the substance of water is this. And if you look at glass, notice that angle is even less, and what you'll notice is the speed is even less. So as you pass into something that's even more dense, the speed decreases even more, and that angle of refraction decreases even more. Okay, so looking back at the lab again, let's take a look at the lab again. And it asks a bunch of questions. And again, please pay careful attention to what material it wants and it's talking about. Okay, so making sure you're paying careful attention to those materials. Now you'll get to a section down here about rainbows. And when you get to the section about rainbows, it'll say, make sure the bottom substance is glass. If you don't make the bottom substance glass, you're going to get it wrong. And it says, make sure in the bottom left-hand corner that this is checked. So let's go do that, okay? So let's go back to the simulation. We're going to make sure the bottom is glass. See, the bottom's already glass here. We're going to make sure we check angles. And what you'll see is the angle is 45 degrees. And here you can see the angle in the material. So it's going to ask you what this angle is right here, the angle of refraction. See, the picture even shows this as well. See, it says angle of refraction. It says make sure this is glass and make sure this is checked. And then it's going to have you switch the color. So at red, it's 28.1. And then you can see at orange. And then what it is at yellow. And you can do green. And you can do blue. And you can do indigo and violet. And so you can switch these. And it's looking for the angle, which is this value right here, this angle, and it's given on the picture. So that's what you're looking for to answer those questions. Okay. And again, it's asking for the angle. Then it says click on the prisms tab. So you're going to click on the prisms tab and you're going to drag the triangle prism into the workspace. So let's take a look. Okay, here's the prisms tab down here in the bottom middle. Click on it. We're going to grab the triangular prism into the workspace, making sure it's in the path of the laser. Okay. And then it says use your observation. So it does say turn the white light on. So make sure that it is white light and turn that on. So let's make sure we do that. Oh, here it is over here on the right. Click it, turn it on, and look, we can see what happens. Now it's going to ask you some questions about that. Okay. And you're going to answer those. And these ones here at the bottom are going to ask you a bunch of questions, but you have to go out to YouTube and watch the videos. So hopefully this will help you get through this activity. And let me know, email me if you have any questions.